So in this video, I want to talk about the God wound, because as with everything within our reality, what we have been experiencing, God has been infiltrated, distorted, so that many of us have moved away from God or felt a lot of pain, a lot of wounding, a lot of triggering when it comes to God. I've worked with many clients that grew up in quite strict Catholic families and feel a lot of guilt, a lot of shame about themselves through what they were taught about God through religion. My own mom was brought up in a very Catholic family in Italy, and she has told me how, when she was younger, she used to have to go to confession and confess her sins, confess what she had done wrong, in order for her to be accepted by God. And she used to tell me that it used to make her feel really bad about herself. She didn't know what she'd done wrong, but she felt like she had to come up with something, so she'd make things up so that she could confess something and be absolved from those sins. So when my mum got to her 17, 18, she absolutely rejected the church, moved away from it, because she felt inside of it that she couldn't resonate with the message of the church. And the message was things like, it's wrong to get divorced, you should stay in abusive relationships no matter what, because it's wrong. And she said that she had the fear of God put into her, so she really moved away from that. And actually, as children, she did not inject that into our consciousness. She said she wanted us to find our own truths, which gave us the freedom to do that. And as I was becoming into my 20s, etc., I absolutely felt no draw to religion at all. However, I did know inside of me that we had been here before, that there was so much more to the story than we were told. But I did feel in order for me to, I felt it difficult to connect to God directly, to even say the word God. Because in saying that word God, I felt some pain, some wounding inside, and that is related to a lot of the distortion through religion. So who is God? What is the truth about God? Well, God, source, consciousness. So I like to see God as Mother, Father, God. When we start to understand that God is source, is that intelligent divine energy that is seeded through all of creation, that gives life to everything. God is the frequency of love. So we can use, rather than using the word God, if that feels triggering for the self, we can use the word source. We can see it as that source, intelligent divine energy. Or we can see it as, or we can say Mother, Father, God, because as well, God has been made into a man. And God is not a man. God is both masculine and feminine. We have Father, Sky, Mother, Earth. The mother, the divine mother, the earth, the nurturer, the nourishment has been taken out of God in religion. And that is to suppress the divine feminine energy which exists within all of us, male or female. Our job, our mission is to actually marry up those energies, is to bring union to the divine masculine feminine within, the yin and the yang, bring in balance, harmony to those energies, heal those energies within, both energies being powerful as they weave together. So Mother, Father, God is the source that gives life to all. We are all part of that source energy. We are all connected to it. We are not separate from it. And as we start to allow ourselves to reconnect back to that source, life force energy that is through all of us, that connects us into our higher aspects, into other dimensions, our other multidimensional self, seeds us right back in to the source field, to the field where everything is birthed, everything comes from source. Everything comes from the cosmic wound, and then the energy expands outwards into all directions and into all of creation. So as we allow ourselves to create a new relationship with God source consciousness, realize that within religion, God source consciousness has been distorted, has been manipulated. God source consciousness is not vengeful. God source consciousness does not kill humans, animals, wipe them out for being bad and wrong. That is not God source consciousness. God source consciousness does not judge us as being less than, because we are a part of God source consciousness. God source consciousness experiences all and everything through us. As we reconnect to that God spark flame, which is within all of us, which has been snuffed out, hidden under all of these artificial programs within this reality, within this inverted matrix, that have made us feel that we are less than, not good enough, shameful, guiltful, all of these layers that have been put on top of the God spark within our heart space, has kept us, and all of these distractions, all of these mind control programs, TV program, frequency control, have been there to keep us from connecting to that. And because because of all these AI consciousness viruses that have gone within our temples, templates, our divine bodies, instruments, it has stopped us from going within and connecting to that God spark, as have the distortions throughout religion. So as we start to realize that God source consciousness cannot be put in a box inside of a story, inside of religion, and we zoom out and then go back into our heart space, reconnect back to truth, allow ourselves to sit with that word. If that word God triggers you, allow yourself to sit with that triggering. Just breathe into it and allow those emotions to come up, and realize that they are programs that are attached that are not truth. And those programs will start to dissolve as you start to sit with them and face them. And as you do that, you start to connect to the truth, back to the light, back to source. And that light, as you connect to that light within, as you allow yourself to go inwards and connect to that light, well, it's like turning on the light in a dark room. All of a sudden you can see the corruption within the field. You can see all the false programs that made you believe you were not enough, you were less than, that God had abandoned us. You know, a lot of the wounding that we feel towards God is the feeling unconsciously often of being abandoned by God. You know, we look around in this world and we can see many atrocities, and we can see that and we can think, well, if there is a God, why would he allow, and I say he, right, because that is programmed into me too, but understand what I say here. I mean Mother, Father, God, source. So why would Mother, Father, God allow that? And it is because we are in an experiment of free will creation. We agree to this free will creation where anything really goes, in order to experience new creations, in order to expand and grow in ways that we couldn't do, not in a free will universe. So whilst it has gone to a very dark place, which is not what Mother, Father, God wants for its creation. You know, we are the creation, we are part of that. But in experiencing that creation, that is what has happened in terms of, you know, the consciousness spiraling away from the light, in terms of it going to such a dark place that the dark has denied the light, has forgotten that it comes from the light. But we are reawakening to that, and as we reawaken, as we connect to source, as we allow ourselves to sit with the uncomfortableness of the label God or the label source, as we allow ourselves to sit with that, then we can turn on the light, we can see the corruption, and we can dissolve that from our temples, templates, and we can move into mission. We can move into what it is that the divine has put in our hearts to do in this lifetime, because we are living in a very epic moment. We are living in a timeline shift. We are co-creating a new reality. We are seeding heaven on earth, and that is going to happen through all of us committing to the self, committing to our work, committing to clearing out our templates of the darkness, of the shadows, doing that shadow work. You know, we cannot deny, ignore. We all have corruptions within our body because that is part of the inverted matrix that we have moved into. And as we start to face that and do that work, as we start to dissolve that, we connect to the light starts to flood into every cell of the body. We are guided, we are led on our highest timeline, and that is how we then create the heaven on earth. So if you do feel within you a triggering when it comes to God, source, consciousness, mother, father, God, then I hope that this video gives you that motivation, that inspiration, that encouragement to not move away from Mother, Father, God, Source, Consciousness, Prime Creator, because it is for us now to seed Source back into this reality, to seed the sacredness of life, the divinity of life back into every system. Perhaps you work in the foster care system, perhaps you work in the education system, perhaps you work in the health system. Look around that system, ask yourself, is Source, is the soul, is the spirit seeded into it? And you will often find that no, it's been absolutely extracted, removed from it, and it's up to us to seed that back into these systems. But in order to do that, we have to seed it back into ourselves. It's not even seeding it back into ourselves because it's in us already, but we have to connect to it and allow that spark to reignite and to flow through all of our bodies. And in doing that, like I say, it's going to cleanse us, transmute, alchemize all the lies in the body. So it's going to heal yourself, and in healing yourself, it's going to allow you to bring that into those systems that we work in. And if you are watching this video, I already know that in your heart, you already know that you are here to impact the world in a positive way, to seed back in sacredness, to seed back in an intention into all these systems. All these systems are there for the highest good of all of humanity, for the highest good of all of creation, not just a select few that have tried to control, manipulate, and keep us from reconnecting back to our source. Source is our power. Source is our life force energy.